I want us to just take a step back and understand what it is we've just done, because it's such a cool and interesting topic, this. And not many other tutorials that I've found or, courses ever cover this kind of stuff. So I hope you appreciate it. I hope you're having fun. But anyway, the secret to what's going on here lies in our code. So let's actually get back to our code. And specifically, we don't need to talk about the H1 and the paragraph. Those are pretty straightforward. What we need to do is we need to jump back into our script tag, and we need to take a moment to understand what's going on. At the top, we have our body element variable. The first thing we do is we define our body element variable, and that references the body element in our HTML. Pretty straightforward. And similarly, we define our para element variable, and that references our paragraph element with a class value of message. There's nothing too special going on here. You should be very familiar with this. Now, here's where things get interesting and funky. We have our set interval timer function that calls the say what function every 1000 milliseconds, every 1 second. It's inside this say what function where the actual cloning is taking place. So you could say the most important part of code for us is this say what function. How does this work? Well, again, we define a variable called cloned text, and we assign that the value of our cloned element. In order to clone an element, all we did was we used the clone node method on our paragraph element. The result of us doing this is that a copy of our paragraph element is now created, and it's stored as part of the cloned text variable. The last step is for us to add our newly cloned element to the DOM so that it shows up. Remember, without doing this, it's just floating around in thin air. It's lost. We need to attach it to a parent. Does it make sense? And that's why we access our body element, the parent. We then use the penchild method, which we've seen in earlier lectures, and of course we add the cloned text to this body element. And thanks to our set interval, all of the code under the say what function repeats to keep adding our cloned element to the page. And of course the final thing that you noticed was we passed the value true. I know we've got false here because that's the last example we showed, but we did actually pass true as the argument into this clone node function. Why did we do that? Our paragraph element doesn't seem to have any children, right? Well, this is where the distinction between elements and nodes comes into play. Our paragraph tag doesn't have any child elements, but the text within the paragraph tag is actually a child node, specifically a child text node. And this detail is very important to keep in mind when you're finding yourself cloning something and not expecting to see what you get. I hope this is making sense. I hope it's becoming more intuitive to you by now. And most of all, I hope you are having fun.